Hello, this is Power Panda with a very different kind of ROM hack for you today. So, a lot of you know me from the video game ROM hacks for Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance, but I'm actually a professional in the board game world, and with that, there's a lot of tools that I have to be able to add content to existing games. So, I call them fan expansions instead of ROM hacks for existing games. And tonight I'm going to show you one that I've made for Mega Man Pixel Tactics by Level 99 Games with cooperation from Jasco and Capcom. So, Mega Man Pixel Tactics was on Kickstarter a number of years ago, and I love the game Pixel Tactics. It is a card-based tactical combat game for 2 players, and when I found out that they were going to be mixing that with the art from Mega Man, with the 8-bit sprites, I knew that I was going to have to back that. The campaign itself was wildly successful, and it was a fun ride from start to finish of seeing the stretch goals just blown out of the water and seeing where the game went. So it started off that the game had 2 different decks, the Mega Man deck and the Proto Man deck of 28 cards each. But as we blew through the stretch goals, it started adding more cards, and we added enough cards that we ended up getting a 3rd deck, which was the orange base box. And among those, the last cards that we unlocked were Punk, Anchor, and Ballade or Ballad, the Mega Man killers from the Game Boy games, who, because they showed up in Mega Man 10, have official 8-bit sprites. But we didn't stop there, we kept going, and so as the campaign went on, we ended up getting Yellow Devil, Big Eye, Mecha Dragon, and then Slash Man and Frost Man from Mega Man 7 and Mega Man 8. And you can see the difference here with the deck marker, that Punk is from the base box, and Slash Man and Frost Man are from the 5-card roll box. Well, we thought we were done, but in the middle of the campaign, they got contacted by Capcom and found out that there were official colorized sprites of Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy. So we got Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Terra, Sunstar, and then a surprise, we got Quint, because Quint, even though he was from the 2nd Game Boy game, appeared as a boss in the 5th game also. At that point, we were starting to see a pattern that it wasn't so much that the cards that we got were based on what was available for abilities in the game, but based on the available sprites. And the fact that we stopped at Slashman and Frostman from their Mega Man 10 appearances told us that we probably weren't going to get the rest of the Mega Man Masters from 7 and 8 because there were no 8-bit sprites of them. So a number of people on Board Game Geek, that's a fan website for board games, started getting together and drafting abilities for what the others could be. I took those abilities and I combined them with the sprites from the fan game Rockman 7 FC or Rockman 7 Famicom in order to create the missing Robot Masters. So we've got Junkman, Springman, Clownman, Cloudman, Shademan, and Turboman. When we were done with those, we decided to go for the Mega Man 8 bosses. So we got those too. Swordman, Searchman, Freezeman, Tenguman, Astroman, Aquaman, Grenade Man, and Burst Man. These sprites coming from the Rockman 8 FC or Rockman 8 Famicom fan game. So we have 7 here, 7 here. That gives us 14. And, of course, the last Mega Man Classic game to go for was Rockman Forte, or Mega Man and Bass. So there was a project that started but never finished for Rockman Forte Famicom. And they got as far as creating sprites. But they didn't animate the sprites, they didn't create any stages. The sprites were all I needed, though, in order to make these cards. And then King was missing, so I did a King sprite from scratch. So, 7 cards, 7 cards, 7 cards. We've got almost a full deck of 28. What other cards do we want to add in? So, the cards that we added in to make a full deck were obviously from the Wily Wars, Buster Rod G, Mega Water S, and Hyperstorm H. and I was able to find sprites for these from the Wily Tower NES game. A couple more that we needed, so we got Time Man and Oil Man from Mega Man Powered Up, and to fill the last 2 slots, we used Duo and Reggae. And Reggae, among all the cards that I did, this is the only official sprite from Capcom. The rest are fan recreations from various fan games. So, 28 cards, we had a 4th deck on our hands. But as you probably noticed as I've been flipping through all of these, we've gone from the Roll deck marker to the Mega Man Game Boy deck marker. And there was more that we wanted to do. We were so close to the end of being able to represent every single Mega Man Robot Master that there was. The ones that we were missing the Wonder Swan only Rockman Forte 2, which I believe is Rockman Forte Challenger from the Future. The problem was that there were no sprites for that. So I actually went and found someone who had done black and white sprites on DeviantArt and colored them according to official concept art. So we were able to get Mega Man Shadow, Thermo Man, Komiso Man, Bullet Man, Watchman, Compass Man, and Stovetop Man. All of these names, by the way, are my localizations of these. You may see Stovetop Man as Konro Man. I forget what Thermo Man is, but I gave them good English-sounding names. And then last but not least, we had a few left over to round out our deck. So we have Kalinka, and I said that there was only one official sprite. Kalinka never had an official sprite because she never had the black color. They use a little trick when she showed up in Mega Man 4 that the black that you see on her sprite is coming from the background and it's just transparent. I put in Copy Robot from Mega Man 1. When Mega Man Powered Up came out, they gave Copy Robot, or Mega Man question mark. They gave him a slightly different design than Mega Man, so I translated that to sprite form. Bondman, who is a famous scrapped robot master from Mega Man 1 that Keiji Inafune decided to never put in another game, but fans have created sprites for him. And Sakugarn, who is the Rush to Quint. So Mega Man is to Rush as Quint is to Sakugarn, and I decided that he deserved his own card. Last but not least, we had one Robot Master from a very obscure game, Super Adventure Rockman, so we finish out our deck with Raw Thor. Now, the interesting part when you add all of these together is that I have added 40 cards to the game, which is more than one deck of 28. What you do is you take the cards that I've made, combine them with the 5 extra cards from the Kickstarter campaign, and the Star Droids pack, which is 11 cards, and you end up with decks 4 and 5. So in the original game, there were, there are almost 100 cards. I added 40 more. All of these are available for download and printing at home. I did this printing on DriveThruCards, and there are pre-formatted files available if you want to do DriveThruCards. You can see that my cards compared to an official card, there's slight color difference, but aside from that, the cards integrate perfectly, so you can just shuffle everything in and play the game. So files are available for download if you want to try this fun and somewhat obscure game from Mega Man history.